Hey there again. This is the last in the series of videos that I've put up in preparation for a conference that I'm having with some people back east. This is my critique of a current Army contract kilt as supplied to the regiment recently. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it has a tartan top band, which is a little more complex, a little more time-consuming to fit. Also, it's the same material as the kilt, which is too thick in my opinion, because by adding this top band, we've added about 2 inches to the soldier's waistline. Not a good idea. The kilt also has belt loops for the sporran, which I don't consider necessary, at least not on a soldier's figure. These things are helpful in the case of somebody who's anorexically thin or morbidly obese. The normal soldier's figure doesn't need these things, and with my civilian customers, I will only add them if I consider them absolutely necessary. So there's another tiny economy if we eliminate those. The third is that this has clearly been built or constructed to the civilian style of calculating the width of the pleats, which again is specialist knowledge, is time consuming. And I can tell that mostly because there's very, very little taper here. So should they convert to the other method of making stock pleats and then a very generous, a very dramatic A-line, we'd be saving some money there. The addition of a pocket on the inner apron, I object to. I think it's a bad idea because people will put things in them, and if they're too heavy, it's going to disturb the front of the kilt. It's not going to be an attractive appearance. When customers ask me for this, I flat out refuse. I just won't do it. Looking inside, the construction is fairly normal, except when pulling away the canvas, I found this, which had been tacked in place along its length. Now, I see what they're doing. If we look at old Army kilts, we'll find a strip of cloth that's about 2 inches wide, and it's given a herringbone stitch to act as a reinforcing bit between the two buckles. But this is so narrow it accomplishes absolutely nothing. Gone. What they'd done on top was a canvas, which I have to assume is an interfacing, and this makes no sense because interfacing is something you put on the shoulders of a coat to give it shape. It's certainly not. It's certainly not acting in tension. What a piece of canvas here should be acting like the metal framework of a brick building. It is providing the strength for the thing, but interfacing is pointless in this case. This, in addition, is so very wide that it extends beyond where the pleat's been cut out, and it's adding bulk across the hips. It's also constructed in 3 pieces. Generally, I do 2 pieces. Now, these 2 pieces weren't adequately sewn together. The whole point of a canvas is to provide one foundation from the buckle here to the strap here. And this is a failure. So when I make a kilt, pardon me as I step out of frame for a second. When I make a kilt, the canvas is within the cutaway, and it's absolutely one piece from there to there. There's no cutouts, there's folds rather, and it provides, the function is exactly the same as a weightlifter's belt. It spreads the tension across a wider area. It makes it more comfortable, but it also makes the sewn portion of the pleats last longer. When we are looking at this piece, we'll see, and even with the Army kilts where it's a little bit wider, that's still not a wide enough footprint. And on Army kilts, we frequently see these seams blown out because these seams are not strong in tension. They will pull apart unless they're backed up. Frankly, all of the tension should be on the canvas. Now, I don't have an elegant summing up here, but I believe that although this is a good effort, and I wonder if they're actually kind of following my methods, because this particular company wasn't doing this 10 years ago. But it's rather like cargo cult philosophy. They didn't understand the principles, and they're getting it wrong. I think it's an interesting effort, but it's frankly a wasted effort. So I'll have one more piece to talk about the difference between fitting men's and women's kilts. but that'll have to be for another day.